What is going on, everyone? Matthew97657 here, and today we are back with yet another figure unboxing and review. And as the title and thumbnail suggests, this is going to be the Bandai Movie Monster Series limited or Godzilla store exclusive Godzilla Minus One Heat Ray or Atomic Breath version. So with that being said, nothing more to it. Let me get on right on into it. And alas, if you did see our last video, I did get the 1954 Godzilla the Art figure alongside this figure in a double package just from two different sellers. But let's go ahead and crack into this one, which is going to be awesome, I think. So let's go ahead and keep opening up this guy right here. A very nice addition. So here we go. Ta-da! A very nice addition to the Godzilla Movie Monster Series line. And as you can tell here, it's Godzilla Minus One, right? Definitely one of the highlights of 2023 for me. But look at that. This is an awesome figure. It looks kind of funny, you know, the pose itself where he's kind of just like in such a like shooting position. It just looks a little funny. But I think it actually looks fairly well. You know, on this side it looks good. Looks like we have a little bit of warp just from the figure probably being meshed in. But, you know, nothing a heat gun or an air dryer can't fix. So going on towards the tag here, as you can see, this, I think this is a straight shot from the movie. Godzilla Minus One, or Godzilla 2023, as they will put it. And then some text on the inside, and then there we go. So, Godzilla Minus One, and then Bandai Movie Monster Series. Yep, your standard tag, really. And then moving back towards the figure, let's go ahead and dim the lights a little bit so you can see a little bit darker. It's a little bit too dark for my liking, if I'm being honest. Let's go ahead and bring that light back up. I think that did well. But looking towards the head here, as you can see, the paint job within the mouth is all kind of like that metallic blue, obviously kind of giving that kind of glow or gloss shine to it. And then the eyes are painted if we can get that going. You can kind of see it's just kind of like an orange dot. But the highlight of the figure itself is the dorsal plates, you know, they're kind of like very shiny. And then you can even have some translucency between them where, there we go. If you shine bright enough, there you go. So it looks awesome. You know, I absolutely love when they do the translucent dorsal plates. It's always so good, so good. Absolutely love it. The sculpt itself, actually, the sculpt itself is pretty small. It's a pretty small figure. It's like that. It's like, I'd say anywhere from like a little, like 5 to 5.5 inches. I think maybe it's just because the way the figure is positioned, but it's actually, it seems smaller than you'd think, honestly. Not saying it's a bad thing by any means, it's just something to point out. And then continuing, so as you can see, we have kind of like the clear Tsufubi there, right, in there. And then eventually when we get down here, it's just all that metallic blue seen throughout the entire portion of the tail, which is nice. That's awesome. I will say the one thing that I'm not seeing, which is just kind of like a small point out, is the dorsal plates. They don't seem to be popping up as if you know, giving the charging effect, but that's just something so, you know, it's not really something I think anyone's gonna lose sleep over if they get this figure. But just something to point out. Besides that, articulation wise, you can go all the way around, and then I assume with the leg you can do the same thing. The head is stationary, and the tail does have a seam. You can see it. There's a seam there. There's another seam right here. But there's another seam somewhere along here, but it's really tight, so it's not going to be able to move too well. Obviously, you're not really going to want to move that. But yeah, a very solid release. I actually do love it. I know it looks kind of funny, like in terms of like this angle here. It's just like, what is it? It's just like, what is that phrase? The gamer neck, where it's like really, really positioned downwards, or just like flat out. It looks a little funny, but obviously I think that's kind of like they were going for that scene in the movie where it almost seems like the head like up, and then whenever he fires, it like cranks down like immediately. So I think that's what they were going for, but very cool nonetheless, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and do our comparisons. Let's go ahead and start with our theater exclusive Godzilla Minus One, which is, this is kind of like the standard mold. And as you can see, the standard mold head is taller than the body of the Atomic Breath version, but the spikes kind of like even it out there. You know, that's the tippy top dorsal plate, but compared to the head, you can kind of see the height difference and just a little bit of a mold difference. Honestly, it's little bit different if we're doing an analysis here. Let's go ahead and flip that. You can kind of see the dorsal plate difference. These are a little bit more like spread, or maybe not spread, but they're a little bit more jagged, I'd say, or taller. These, I would say these don't seem to be as tall or like protruding outward. So I'd want to say there was a slight rework on the plates. I might be incorrect. They're probably using the same assets, but they might just be scaling it down to this mold. But that's just something, you know, I am observing there. So yeah. But nonetheless, comparison-wise, they look pretty good. You know, this is just like a shot from the movie. This is kind of like a kind of for fun figure, as one would put it. And we're going to go ahead and go down to the Godzilla Ultima right here. From Singular Point, you know, kind of have that same type of mold where getting ready to blast the atomic breath or the heat ray there. You can see just the difference in the design, but as you can see, Ultima is a lot longer than the -1 Godzilla, but maybe not by much. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. I would say that it just looks a lot wider because the tail is thicker compared to this figure. But very solid, right? Two different versions of Godzilla in the Reiwa era. And to sum up the Reiwa era, we do have the Shin Godzilla Climax version. This is the very first release. Once again, you know, same kind of shot with the heat ray or atomic breath blast. You know, they just, you know, they got to do it. They got to do it, right? So, and obviously the height difference there once again. But yeah, and that's really about it, I would like to say. I don't think I have anything else to kind of compare it with, but it's pretty cool, right? You know, we have 3 Reiwa Godzillas from Toho, you know, kind of doing the same thing here. Just the difference in design is actually really cool to look at, starting with Shin and then going to Ultima, and then finally going to Godzilla -1, and then that really raises the question of what's next, right? We really don't know what is exactly next within Toho Godzilla. We do have some MonsterVerse news, or at least plans to hear news this coming Saturday with Comic-Con in San Diego. So hopefully we'll get some news there within the MonsterVerse. But who knows? We might be due for some news on Japanese Toho Godzilla as well. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. There's nothing else I really need to do or say. I guess speaking of Comic-Con, I guess I can fire off this last tidbit. Hiya Toys did reveal that they are doing a GMK articulated figure. They are doing a basic, I think it's called Exquisite series. They're doing a Shimo, which are the stationary ones. They're doing a Shimo figure. They're doing a Godzilla 2000, which is absolutely amazing because we are due for a suit accurate Godzilla 2000 mold. So Hiya Toys is gonna, when that drops, I'm there instantly. So fast, no complaint at all. I will be there. I do know that they did a Mechagodzilla 2 from the Heisei era, and besides that, I'm blanking. Shimo, GMK, I think they're doing a Kong for GXK. I think they're doing a Kong, and then I do believe they're doing a King of the Monsters line, something like that, something along those lines. But very exciting. Hiya Toys, you know, they've already stepped up. I can't say they're stepping up because they already have. But yeah, that was just kind of like a small tidbit, wanted to get off for the information's sakes. But to conclude this review, as always, let me know what you guys thought of the Bandai Godzilla Store exclusive -1 Heat Ray Atomic Breath version. Let me know if you decide to pick it up or you're going to wait on it. It's, you know, it's there. So let me know. As always, sorry, I'm blanking. I'm firing off too fast here. But yeah, I will see you guys within the next video. See ya.